G'day guys, and welcome to part 2 of the Vemma So You Want to Be a Scalper series. My name is Reese, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about slippage. Slippage is a massive factor when it comes to scalping. It happens in all trading, but is much worse, much more common when you are scalping, and it can make a big dent in your profits because it can lead to larger losses, can lead to liquidations, and it can lead to worse entry prices. In today's video, I'm going to explain what slippage is. I'm going to talk about why slippage happens in another video because it's a big topic, right? There's a lot that goes into it, and it's going to be a really long video, so I'm just going to break it into two. So what we'll do is we'll head to VemmaTrader and we'll get started.
Okay, so at its essence, what slippage is the difference between the expected price of where an order will fill or be triggered and the actual price at which that order then gets executed. Now, what does it actually look like in practice? Well, I've set up a little example trade for us. Let's say that we entered a short down here, so we entered somewhere around 12,070, and we had our stop loss set at 12,078. That was the trigger price of our stop loss. You can see that that was triggered right about there. But I have a hunch that if we had actually been in this trade, we would not have seen our full price on this stop loss as 12,078. And the reason that I believe that is you can see an enormous volume spike around that candle, right? None of the volume on any of the other candles comes even half as far up. They get up to about 433,000. This one was about 1.13 mil, I think. And we are looking at about a 3,000 candle range. So you can see, in 3,400 candles or so, that this one was by far the biggest spike of volume. Nothing even came relatively close. So why I believe that would have caused slippage is orders in the order books are filled in like a first in, first served manner. So what that means is any buys that were active before our stop loss was triggered have to be filled before our stop loss can be filled. Now, there are two main ways that there could have been active buys. There are market orders and there are other stop losses. So if we picture someone putting in a huge market order, let's say for 1 million Ethereum, they may have entered that buy right about here, but there may have only been 1 million Ethereum contracts in the book in terms of limit orders up to here, right? Because they need that full 1 million. So there might have been, 100,000 here, and then 300,000 here, or 200,000 here, and then the other 7. Geez, I can't do math today. The other 7,000 in this range, right? All of those have to be bought up for that person's 1 million contracts to be filled. And they will be filled before our stop loss because they were the first ones, right? Our stop loss wasn't triggered until halfway through their position filling. So we have to wait in line behind their order filling before our order will fill. The other thing is any stop losses that were in this range when that big market order came through have been triggered before our stop loss was triggered. Which means, again, the book is first in, first served. These guys have beaten us to the punch by having their stop losses a little bit closer, which means that they will fill before our stop loss can fill. So that 1 million may have brought the book up to about here, and then those stop losses start filling and push the book up to here. Now it's our turn for our stop loss to fill, and we fill at a much higher price than what we expected to fill at, right? Our triggered price was way down at about 12,078, and our actual execution price is now 12,090. That's only a difference of about $22. But when you're scalping, $22 can be a huge difference. And we can see that by looking at our entry to our stop loss, which is about 0.64. And then if we look at our entry to our execution price, it is 1.58. So roughly 3 times as much as what we were expecting to lose. So what this means is if you were risking 1% on this trade, you would actually have lost 3% of your margin by the time your stop loss filled. Now, there's a few important points here. So one is that slippage is not something that Vemma causes itself, right? If you had placed your stop loss on the exchange, it would have copped the exact same slippage as what the Vemma order copped. In fact, it probably would have actually copped worse because of the way that Vemma places your stop loss. So what Vemma does is it actually places a stop loss before it places your entry. When you're trading on the exchange, you will usually place your stop loss with your entry. If it's one of those ones where you can, set up your entry and also do the stop loss and execute them at the same time, or you would have entered the trade and then placed your stop loss, which means in terms of the first in, best served, the Vemma stop loss would actually execute before those other exchange-based stop losses if those trades were placed at the exact same time. Your stop loss just sits on the exchange, right? Once it's placed with Vema, it just sits on the exchange until it fills, and that's how an exchange-based stop loss would work, because essentially a Vema stop loss is just an exchange-based stop loss. It's just placed through Vema. So slippage is not a Vema-specific problem. You will cop it on exchanges if you trade with them directly. It is just a factor of the way that markets and orders work. Now, a really easy way to visualize this is if we come to the BitMEX testnet. Now, the BitMEX testnet has low liquidity, and low liquidity is something I'll explore in the next video, which essentially explains why slippage happens. This one is more just about what slippage is. But we can see that the current price is 85.43 on LTC USDT. If we were to open an order, so we're going to buy a heap of LTC, if you don't understand how markets work, you would think that you're going to get 85.43 as your average entry because that's the current price. But because we have to buy up the book, oh, hang on, what have we got to do? Immediate liquidation. We've got to drop our leverage a little bit. Because we have to buy up the entire book, not buy up the entire book, because we have to buy all these limit orders that are in the book to fill our order, what that actually means is we have to buy way up the book. You can see we've just changed the average price from, I forgot what it was, I think it was about 88 something, to 92.91. And you can see our average entry is 91.713 because we had to buy all those limit orders that were in the book just to get our fill on the order. And in fact, we did not get, no, we got a complete fill. We got our 1,000 LTC. But you can see that price was at, I've forgotten what it was, I think it was 88 point something. And we pushed it all the way to 92.21. Because of slippage, because there was not a large, there was not much liquidity. There was not a ton of limit orders in that book sitting there waiting to fill. So we had to buy up until there was 1,000 contracts of LTC. Excuse me. Giving us an average entry of 91.73. Now you'll see the same thing in reverse when we close this position. Our current price is 92.91. So if we try and sell into that, we're actually going to push way down the books. So we're going to see there's 1,000 down here. So if you look at the order book, you can see right here, there is 0.1, 0.1, 0.3, 0.5. That's only going to fill us about 1 LTC, and we're going to have 999 left over. So we're going to have to dip into this 85. So our average exit is going to be somewhere around 85.44, which we can see if we execute that. And we should see a fill of, beautiful, 85.44. So again, even though price was up at 92.5, sorry, I keep forgetting what the actual price was, but it was 92 point something. We pushed it a whole $7 down to 85.44 because of slippage.
So there you have it, guys. That is what is slippage. In next week's video, I'm going to really get into the why of things. So I'm going to be talking about things like low liquidity, high volatility, even step sizes, all the things that actually contribute to slippage and make it such a big factor when you are scalping. But hopefully today's video helps you guys understand what slippage actually is and a little bit of why it occurs. Have a great day, happy trading, and I will talk to you very soon.